2025 Porsche Cayenne review. The original Porsche of SUVs has evolved into quite the luxury family chariot. And the base plug-in hybrid could be the people's pick. Plus beautifully tuned driver controls excellent ride on optional air springs fevs. Performance, efficiency concept price. XE option short warranty fingerprint prone interior armor when people used to scoff at the idea of a Porsche SUV. Well, since its debut way back in 2002, the Porsche Cayenne has become quite the hot commodity. It quickly became the Stuttgart-based marque's most popular model globally, before being dethroned temporarily by the smaller Macan SUV, which continues to be the brand's top-selling in Australia. It's now in its third generation, and like its predecessors, it continues to share DNA with the likes of the Audi Q7 and Volkswagen Touareg, in addition to the Bentley Bentayga and Lamborghini Urus. It also still offers V6 and V8 engines, including some plug-in hybrid iterations that not only save fuel, but boost performance. While it's no secret that an all-new, all-electric Porsche Cayenne is on the way, the combustion and hybrid-powered current generation is set to live on, alongside its fourth-generation EV counterpart up to and beyond 2030. So there's still some life yet in this vehicle. On test here is the 2025 Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid Coupe, which combines the most attainable electrified drivetrain with the sleeker and more expensive coupe body style that was introduced for the third-generation Cayenne. Compared to the standard SUV or wagon version, it has a sloping rear-end treatment that's more reminiscent of the company's iconic sports cars. This base E-Hybrid variant starts at just over $170,000 in coupe guise, meaning it's hardly entry-level in price positioning. Still, it's less than half the price of the track-ready Turbo GT flagship. Does this plug-in entry variant represent the best way to own Porsche's largest SUV? Or should you opt for one with purely petrol power? Or perhaps wait for the all-electric? Alternative, how much does the Porsche Cayenne cost? The E-Hybrid Coupe forms part of the lower echelon of a sprawling range of Cayenne variants. Currently, there are no fewer than 19 distinct trim levels across both the SUV and coupe body styles. For model year 2026 MY26, what is the Porsche Cayenne like on the inside? The midlife refresh of the third-generation Cayenne brought much of the Taycan's tech suite to Porsche's combustion-powered range, and I think it works pretty well in the Cayenne. It's not a complete departure from previous generations, and remains in keeping with a lot of the German brand's sports car range. While it's heavy on digitization and in-car displays, it's still quite distinctly Porsche. The 12.6-inch digital instrument cluster, for example, retains the option to display Porsche's traditional central tachometer dial, which is replaced by a power meter in this E-Hybrid, flanked by two other virtual dials that can be configured to show everything from a conventional speedometer to navigation and the like. You can also completely throw out the conventional layout for minimist and map-heavy displays, which means new-age Porsche buyers can choose to go either old school or new school. For me, that kind of choice is important. A lot of the switchgear has been migrated to either clicky toggles or touch capacitive shortcuts. While they're all quite tactile, the glossy bank of largely virtual buttons on the center tunnel is fingerprint central. Same goes for the 12.3-inch central infotainment touchscreen and the optional 10.9-inch passenger side multimedia display at $1,990, which are both nicely integrated into the dashboard, but can quickly become covered in fingerprints. and smudges, ignoring the smudgy surfaces. The Porsche Communication Management PCM interface that supports these displays is pretty clean and snappy, if a little less showy than some of the big screens and features available in rivals. The software is generally quick to respond, offering clear graphics with fluid animations. The letterbox aspect ratio means the far side of the display can require a bit of reach from the driver, and the low-set climate controls to require a glance away from the road if you need to change temperature or activate recirculated air on. The Move Wireless Apple CarPlay worked well during our time with the vehicle. And there's also embedded satellite navigation with live traffic updates and routing, as well as DAB Plus digital radio should you prefer to use those functions, rather than an extension of your smartphone software. One thing I noticed is that the button to activate the optional sports exhaust system is embedded in the touchscreen, rather than on the center console like in previous iterations, which is annoying. I'd also argue the passenger display is more of a redundant gimmick than a must-have option, unless your driving partner insists on streaming videos on regular road trips, for example. Comfort up front is very good thanks to heavily sculpted and supportive sports seats that hug you from every angle and hark back to the brand's sports cars. Standard electric adjustment means you can easily find the perfect driving position. And standard driver's seat memory presets in the coupe allows you to save positions for two drivers. Despite the sloping coupe roofline, the more design-focused Porsche Cayenne still has good rear occupant accommodation for families, offering good head and leg room for the 6-footers of the world, like 6'1" me. Porsche has really sculpted out the two outboard rear seats to almost ape the front buckets. So much so that middle rear seat occupants might feel a little shortchanged, unlike its 7-seat Q7 platform mate. The Cayenne remains strictly a 5-seater, and indeed it's best described as a 4+1. You can actually delete the center rear seat if you want. What's under the bonnet? The Porsche Cayenne E-Hybrid Coupe is powered by a turbocharged 3.0-liter petrol V6-based plug-in hybrid system that now brings a larger 25.9 kilowatt-hours battery pack as part of the midlife refresh. How does the Porsche Cayenne drive? While a big hybrid SUV doesn't necessarily sound very Porsche-like, I'm of the belief that the E-Hybrid range of powertrains really suits the Cayenne's intended purpose and demographic. The bigger 25.9 kilowatt-hours battery means there's plenty of electric driving range for most daily commuting, though I reckon you'd struggle to match Porsche's EV-only claim of 86 kilometers. Given the vehicle's indicated power consumption often sits around 30 to 40 kilowatt-hours, 100 kilometers. Our trip computer indicated average of 36.4 kilowatt-hours, 100 kilometers after our time with the Cayenne. A hybrid coupe indicates a real-world driving range closer to the 70 kilometers mark. And we covered 211 out of 277 kilometers on e-power alone. The electric motor's 130 kilowatts power output might seem meek in a large SUV that weighs in at 2.5 tons. But it's almost instantaneously delivered for 160 Newton meters of torque offers effortless shove, particularly around town or while navigating traffic jams. It's also wonderfully quiet. Although there's the odd shift in lower gears of the 8-speed auto and e-drive mode, that can be a little elastic. If you punt it hard, the 3.0-liter V6 will fire to life and give you the full 346 kilowatts and 650 Newton meters, and thanks to the optional sports exhaust on our test car, it sounds rather brassy and purposeful when it does. The Cayenne E-Hybrid is too heavy and high off the ground to feel like a 911. But combined with the gorgeous steering tune, which balances excellent feel and directness, with mid-level weighting that can be adjusted with the drive modes. It definitely feels like a powerful GT that offers communicative and engaging driver controls. The as-tested optional adaptive air suspension, including active damping, adds to the layers of adjustability and also allows you to raise and lower the ride height based on drive mode or personal preference. Even on 21-inch alloys, it rides quite well despite leaning towards more sporting aspiration because it's so connected in feel and responsive to inputs. The Cayenne Coupe doesn't feel as big as it looks and actually is. It turns in keenly, controls its weight through corners well, and feels like it's eager to push on in more spirited driving. At full noise, there's immediate torque response from the electric motor. And as the revs climb, the petrol V6 sings a brassy tune. I personally found it quite addictive, given the otherwise silent commuting character of this powertrain. Flicking the rotary mode selector on the steering wheel to Sport and Sport Plus really tightens things up and dials up the intensity. 2, 9, and 11 respectively. Remember, this is basically the same drivetrain used in the Volkswagen Touareg. That said, you can feel the drivetrain should start to taper off as you hit Australia's national highway speed limit, thanks to the combination of its significant mass and the drivetrain's combined outputs arriving in at a narrow band. Keep in mind the petrol engine only makes 224 kilowatts on its own. But, of course, this is merely the entry-level e-hybrid. And there's no such issue in the Cayenne Turbo e-hybrid with its truly bonkers 5x4 kW 950 Nm twin-turbo V8 plug-in hybrid system, in which for 141 kilowatts, 800 Nm comes from the petrol engine alone. Another aspect of the Cayenne's dialed-in feel from the driver's seat comes with the very well-calibrated driver assistance technologies. Standard adaptive cruise control and lane centering assists allow the Cayenne to take over the heavy lifting during longer highway stints and to navigate low-speed traffic jams. Blind spot monitoring and rear cross-traffic alert are helpful given the tapered rear roofline and thick rear pillars, while the surround parking camera helps with tighter man-nerves in shopping center car parks, where this SUV will no doubt spend a lot of time. What do you get? Porsche Cars Australia tends to go over and above standard global specifications, and the Cayenne is no different. Below is a list of the local equipment highlights. 2025 Porsche Cayenne Australian equipment highlights: 20-inch collapsible spare tire, non-e-hybrid models 21-inch RS Spider design wheels, Cayenne S Coupe and SE Hybrid Coupe 22-inch 911, turbo design wheels, Cayenne Turbo E-Hybrid Coupe metallic paint, Cayenne S and upper ceramic roof system, Cayenne S SUV and upper Chentry, comfort, access, privacy, glass adaptive air suspension Inco, PASM, Cayenne Sport Dynamic Chassis Control PDCC, Cayenne Turbo E-Hybrid Power Steering Plush Head-Up Display Driver Memory Package, Cayenne Coupe, Cayenne GTS Sub-Front Seat Ventilation, Cayenne S side airbags in the rear compartment 4-zone, climate control, Cayenne Turbo E-Hybrid, Cayenne Turbo Geet Soft Close Doors, Cayenne GTS and up 14-way comfort seats including memory package, Cayenne SUV and up. $&CO on other models 18-way adaptive sport seats including memory package. $&CO on Cayenne Turbo Jeep Bose surround sound system, Cayenne S and Cayenne SE hybrid digital radio. Options being a Porsche. The Cayenne can be optioned and personalized within an inch of its life. Options fitted to our test vehicle include Legends Paint, Crayon, $737,021 Cayenne exclusive design wheels in black, $8,380 leather interior black, smooth finish, $6,920 adaptive sports seats in front, 18-way, electric, $800 sport design package painted in black high gloss, $9,600 trailer hitch without tow ball, $1970 tinted HD matrix LED headlights, $5,720 tinted LED headlights including light strip, $2,000 decorative stitching in contrasting color, crayon, $7 to 50 accent package in silver shade, $1140 Porsche crest on headrests, $1,000 seat belts in crayon, $1020 heated GT Sports steering wheel, $1,140 bespoke door sill guards and brushed aluminum in black, illuminated, for $1,370 adaptive air suspension with Porsche active suspension management, for $1,750 sports exhaust system Inco, sports tailpipes in silver, $59,700 for Zone automatic climate control, $1,720 preparation Porsche dashcam, front and rear, $250 passenger display, $2,990 price for optional equipment, $74,360 is the Porsche Cayenne Safe. The Porsche Cayenne range doesn't have an ANCAP safety rating, though the pre-facelift range earned a 5-star EURA and CAP score based on 2017 testing. Standard safety features include warning and brake assist AEB vehicle to vehicle pedestrian, cyclist detection and turst anti-assist active parking assistance adaptive cruise control Inco, stop, and God driver awareness detection emergency assist exit warning lane keep assist Inco, centering lane change assist, blind spot monitor cross traffic alert self-steering park assists around camera trailer, maneuvering support. How much does the Porsche Cayenne cost to run? Porsche Cars Australia persists with a 3-year unlimited kilometer warranty, which is falling behind the pack. The high-voltage battery and PHEV and EV vehicles is warranted for 8 years or 160,000 kilometers. However, worth noting is that the Audi Q860 TFSIe and Volkswagen Touareg, which use versions of the same V6 plug-in hybrid drivetrain, both offer longer warranties and capped price service programs. Care experts take on the Porsche Cayenne base E-Hybrid grade might not be Cayenne pepper hot, but the most attainable electrified Porsche Cayenne Coupe makes a lot of sense for its target audience. It offers more performance and efficiency compared to the base petrol V6 variant, while retaining the desirable Porsche look and feel that helps set it apart from related models from the likes of Audi and Volkswagen. It may not have the shove and drama of the V8s, but as an ideal luxury family bus, it's more suitable to more people more of the time. No. The Porsche of SUVs tag doesn't mean it drives like a big 911, but the beautifully tuned chassis and driver controls are balanced in a combination that few rivals manage to achieve. And the hallowed Porsche crest on the nose no doubt counts for plenty as well, of course. All this doesn't come cheap, even relative to other German badged rivals and some of the Cayenne's own platform mates. But with plenty of justification, the Porsche brand does sit somewhere between traditional premium automakers and high-end luxury marques, and the Cayenne is no different in that regard. Personally, I don't think the coupe body is worth about $7,000 more than the standard SUV. But I can understand why the Cayenne Coupe will appeal more to traditional Porsche buyers, or those wanting a more traditional red, sports car-like Porsche-like shape. This is far from an affordable large SUV, especially when it's fitted with $75. Zero worth of options like this press car is, but even in standard form, it's one of the finest.